Alright, we're back in it. Alchemic sent me another yo-yo. The Tyrant was pretty cool. It was a neat titanium yo-yo. But this time, Alchemic sent me a different yo-yo, a bimetal this time. And I can't pronounce the name. I've been calling it the Roentgen, but Google and videos say it's pronounced the Roentgen, with the hard G. So, Alchemic sent me the Roentgen. And it's a pretty neat bimetal. It's got these titanium rims, and it's been a while since I've talked about a yo-yo with titanium rims on the channel. The last one I talked about was the Aspen from Edition, but the Roentgen's design especially reminds me of the C3 Galaxy Dyno. It's like if you took the Galaxy Dyno and then made it smooth. It's got that big scoop down to the response, but man, these rims are huge. There's a lot of rim weight on this yo-yo, assuming these rims aren't hollow, which I definitely don't think they are. Then, this hub is just straight down to the nipple. To be honest though, this design's rather simple. There aren't a lot of bells and whistles to it. There aren't really any added lines, cuts, or ridges. Maybe just some lines to break up the curves a bit. I don't know, just something a little extra. It's not a bad design though, it's clean. Let's talk about how this thing plays. The name of the Roentgen's game is Power. It's got kick. I mean, it's like getting kicked in the hand by a horse whenever you do a bind with this thing at full spin, and it maintains that power. It keeps going through long combos, and it burns through strenuous combos like it's nothing. What comes with that power is a ton of stability. It's got loads of it. It's got the guts to handle really janky play. But the problem with all that guts is that this yo-yo feels really heavy and rim-weighted. Rail combos with this? Nah, I don't like doing it. Playing fast overall, outright exhausting. If you need good cardio, do some fast and aggressive combos with the Roentgen. A couple of abs combos? It'll last longer than you will. But I just don't particularly like the maneuverability of the Roentgen. That's the main problem I have with the Roentgen actually. I yo-yo fast and I move fast, and the maneuverability of this yo-yo just doesn't keep up with me. And then the forwardness of the weight of the Roentgen really makes me feel like I'm tossing a weight around. For tech, it's perfectly fine. I wouldn't say it's designed for tech like some of the other yo-yos I've reviewed and played with over the years, which I would say is a good thing, but it does tech and it powers through it. If you're the type to like a heavy yo-yo to do your tech with, then you'd enjoy the Roentgen. The Roentgen is probably strongest for stuff like zoning and zontals. The power and stability just make it a very strong yo-yo. So you can pretty much hit it with the hardest tricks you can, and it'll just fly through them. The added presence it has also makes it extremely easy to track in the air while it moves. It's a great yo-yo for zoning and zontals. The control's a bit difficult for me to approach because it has great presence, but I'd say this yo-yo moves slower than the average yo-yo. Going from stuff like the Miracle or Wilder to the Roentgen, you'll have a harder time hitting tricks because the yo-yo won't be where others would. I am a faster yo-yoer than the average yo-yoer, so it could just be the wrong pacing for me. But it makes it harder to control the yo-yo when it lags behind my natural movements and pacing. One more thing, binds on the Roentgen are really tight. It's really nice. I'd say in general, it's a yo-yo that emphasizes zoning and zontals, but with a slower pacing. And I'll show the slower pacing with the comparisons. For comparisons, I'm going to compare the Roentgen to the 7075 Galaxy Diver V2 because the shapes and general vibes are kind of similar. And then the Aspen because they've both got titanium rims and I'm unoriginal. And I'm going to start with the Galaxy Diver. Between the Roentgen and Galaxy Diver, the Roentgen just has a way more forward presence and weight. Compared to the Galaxy Diver, the Roentgen just feels heavier and has a more forward rim weight. The maneuverability is another difference. Both the Diver and the Roentgen have a relatively forward rim-weighted sensation, however the Roentgen's is more forward than the Diver's. This means in play, the Roentgen's is a bit less naturally maneuverable than the Diver. There's also the pacing of the two of them. The Diver's pacing feels quicker than the pacing of the Roentgen. The Diver just moves more quickly and more naturally. In practice, this makes the Roentgen a more fatiguing yo-yo to use than the Diver. It's slower, heavier, and getting it to match the pace of the Diver just takes more physical effort. But it's worth noting that they're both in similar tiers of performance. They're both really good performing yo-yos. Just across the board, they're both good for zontals and are handily capable for zoning and such. However, I do prefer the diver over the Roentgen. I just like the pacing and the maneuverability of the diver over the Roentgen. Moving on to the Aspen. So the main thing would be the presence of the Roentgen compared to the Aspen. The Roentgen's presence is aggressively forward compared to the Aspen's. The Roentgen feels incredibly solid, and the Aspen is literally a hollow capped yo-yo. Another thing is the general vibes. Both yo-yos have a slower pacing, but the Roentgen is a way more aggressive yo-yo. It's heavy, its presence is extremely forward, and it picks up momentum faster than the Aspen. It makes the Aspen feel very laid back and relaxed by comparison. The Aspen feels more suited for tech and relaxed play than the Roentgen for sure. The Roentgen arguably outperforms the Aspen for things like zoning and zontals as well. But I will say I find the Roentgen to be more fatiguing than the Aspen. Between the two, I prefer the Aspen. Even though the Roentgen performs just slightly better than the Aspen in general, the fatigue and aggressiveness are a bit too much for me. In general, those are my thoughts on the Roentgen. It's a good yo-yo, it performs well, and it's a very premium yo-yo with the tire rings and 7068 aluminum, but it's just a bit too fatiguing. It's a bit too heavy, and it's a bit too much for me. I think someone who approaches yo-yoing in a more relaxed way than I do would enjoy the Roentgen more than I do. I put it on B tier on my tier list. Link in the description. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay healthy. Adios.